All right, what's up, guys? Another day in paradise. So this is basically part two of my last stream that I did with the whole Drizzy, Drake, and the whole Miss Mulatto situation over the whole wireless festival that happened out there in the UK. But for this stream, I want to go over all the comments that I saw and the retweets that I saw over on X. A lot of crazy comments that it's worthy to talk about. And the name of the stream is "They Hate When Mulattoes Show Each Other Love." They really do. Like, they have a sense of fear, and what it is because they have they feel like they own you guys. Okay, that's really what it is. They look at you as being their subgroup. So when they see you showing other mulattoes love, connecting with other mulattoes, they get very fearful, jealous, envious. It bothers them to their core. We're going to see that through the commentary, or through the comments that they made. But yeah, it really comes down to them thinking they legitimately own you, right? That's why the identity component is so important to them. Why they want you to adopt a false identity so then they can kind of wield influence over you. So this is the first comment right here. It's going to get more radical and more racist on their part, right? They're upset because we're exposing their racism. And out of every group out here, especially in the United States of America, they're the ones who don't get called out. Basically, they kind of get away with their racism, and it especially goes overlooked if the racism is against mulattoes and if it's against light skinned African Americans, because I will include them as well, because in this conversation, in this context, because as well, like, I just saw recently, because I'm over on X every day. I should actually post my ats. I want you guys to go follow me over on X. So I'm gonna put it in the chat. X.com/ it's mulatto, but spelled with one T. Vanguard. So that's over there on X. Go follow me over there. But I saw today, or it was like yesterday, I saw this guy named Tyler the Creator. You guys heard of him? He's some geeky dweeb rapper guy. And you know, he was in his recent track, his recent song, he was talking crap about light skins. He says he hates light skins, but yet of course his girl is light skin. It's the same with Kendrick. It's the same with all of them. When the light skin is a code word for lighter skinned men or biracial men. So that's why I'm including light skinned men, light skinned African Americans in this conversation, because they're hating on you as the man. They don't, the females, they give them a pass, right? Because they want to conquer them. And you guys know the drill. More on that later. But going into this is kind of light version right here. Biracial bandits. Now, the basically, for the kind of background, is that the owl is like a symbol that Drake has kind of used, right, to incorporate a symbol for him. He's using the owl. And Big Mama right here, Big Lotto, Miss Mulatto, right? She's basically shouting out Drake because he brought her on to the wireless festival, as I said. And she's basically giving him thanks. I appreciate what you've done for me, helping me out. And of course, a lot of these racist black supremacists, they're very upset about that. So this person here puts biracial bandits. So that's kind of, I guess, a light, you know, not super extreme, but there's going to be more. It's going to get more interesting. You can see here the comment says, them biracials with the white mama always got to stick together. You see, this is what they're putting on us, right? And it's a black female. They're using a picture like a avatar Beyonce. I believe that's what it looks like, blonde hair. Like, come on, And Beyonce's got like a Creole mom, right? It's part of her heritage. But yeah, Honey Gold Time, whatever. And it's a black female behind that account, right? Because that rhetoric is pushed by black females or gay black males who push that whole white mama biracial bullshit. Okay. And so yeah, this says them biracials with white mama always got to stick together. But I'm gonna show you guys other comments where they don't even give a damn about your parents or whatever. Just the fact that you're biracial, you're a mulatto, showing another mulatto love, That's what irritates them. That's what gets them upset. But they throw in that white mama thing, and they're basically just exposing their racism and the fact that they're, like I said, either black females or they're gay black males, because those are the only people who push that crap. Nobody else is talking about anyone's mom. It's just them. The people who don't even have dads in their households, right? Or their moms were kind of abusive, Hate to say it, but let's be real. I mean, these are the ones who are always bringing up your mom and your family and shit. Like, who the hell are these people? Now, this is more of a radical comment here. She outright puts hashtag mutt, right? It's just hilarious. You have these mulattoes and biracials who really want to identify with them. And then the person's username or their hashtag, whatever, their handle, it says cunty one, if I'm pronounced, yeah, basically, yeah. So they're admitting they're a piece of crap. They're a cunt. I mean, that's their handle is cunty one, right? The way they spelled it. And it's yeah, just racist language, anti-mulatto racist language, right? The same thing the white nationalists are going to say to you. They'll call you mutt or half breed. The same thing the black nationalists are going to say. I'm trying to tell these mulattoes. A lot of you are listening, and that brings me joy. But I would say there's too many of you who just are outright pussies and just are not aware of the situation. Even though we try to tell you, it's not just me, it's other people like Mulatto Mindset, Iberian Mulatto, and a lot of others out here trying to tell you guys, but you guys still want to pretend and act naive. But just that right there, these are your folks, these are your people, right? They're racist. And it's funny because they always project and point the finger, say the whites don't like you, they don't accept you. Yeah, this looks like it's a lot of acceptance right here. Hilarious. Now, the thing is with Mulatto, Miss Mulatto, Big Lotto, and also Drake, they're in that market. They're kind of pandering to that crowd and they're successful. And that's why the Bantus and the black supremacists are upset because you're successful in their kind of arena that's controlled by whites and Jewish people. Let's be real. They're just the dancers, entertainers, for all of us. But they really get jealous and upset when they see mulattoes and mulattas dominate in those areas. And then when they see us supporting each other, they get very, very upset. And that's what you're seeing here with this kind of hardcore black extremist language, right? And it's not justified. There's nothing they could say to justify it, but this is who they are. They tell you every day how they feel about you. And I'm just here reporting the news, letting you guys see what it is. And someone sent these to me. These I didn't go searching for any of these like these reposts. It's a guy who's in the kind of spaces all over, YouTube and I think yeah, X and also TikTok, whatever. He's all over in the spaces. And he just basically shared it with me, sent me a DM on TikTok. And so that's why I'm talking about it here right now. The guy's username is Identity Politics. He has other channels. But yeah, and then look at this another comment right here. And look at their handle says Yasuke's Demon Energy. The other one, their username was Cunt One. Now this one's Demon Energy. It's like these are evil, spiteful creatures. These are black supremacists. Like, but they always try to frame it like they're nice and they're victims and white people are so mean. It's like, and then they see this mulatta showing a mulatto man love for helping her career, boosting her career. And then this is the treatment they're going to give you. Look at comment here. Half breeds with white mothers are always a problem. You guys see that? So my question is to you, you biracials with white moms, why do you tolerate this? Like, and why don't you call it out? That's another thing. It's just not even just the fact that you tolerate it. I'm not saying all of you do, but it's just why don't you call it out? Why don't you call it out more? Because some of you, especially if you're a biracial baby mama, right? Your black father was never around. So you're yearning for like the black identity. You want to feel part of blackness. So you understand your pathway to blackness is to become a baby mama by a black guy, right? And that's what happens. You become a baby mama, multiple time baby mama from a black guy. And these people they hate you. They're talking crap. They're calling you half breeds and you're you white mama biracial, you're a problem. But they never like have any energy towards them calling them out because they know their place because they're basically stuck there in that community because they want black acceptance, right? They got with a black guy, their kids are basically black, so they've anchored themselves in a black experience. This is why a lot of these type of people, they're never going to call this crap out. And you see the hate, it's all over social media right in front of your face, right? But they're not going to call it out. So you got guys like me who's like, well, shit, I have nothing to lose. I don't have kids by these people. I'm not, no. So it's like, yeah, I see this type of crap. I'm like, they're talking about me. They're talking about most of you. Most of you, you got white moms. They're talking shit about you. How is this socially acceptable, right? And like I said, if it's reversed, if you mention anything about them or their parents or their mom or anything, they whine and cry for the next 500 years, you know? But yeah, just the language is just like a white supremacist because these are black supremacists, right? How many other mulattoes are calling this out? I'll wait. Okay, and then this person, and it's this Big Daddy Slim, whatever, Big Pookie. He puts here them biracial gonna stick together. So that's kind of a slight diss. That's not as extreme. I give him that, but he's still emphasizing the fact that biracial is gonna stick together. Well, what the hell's the problem with that? That we support each other, we show each other love. That's why I put in the title, the stream. They hate when mulattoes show each other love. What's the issue? When black people show each other love, black men, black women, and they have hashtags like black love and all this shit, nobody cares. Do you ever see biracial people crying and complaining? Right? To us, it's like, oh, that's normal. You're black, you like a black woman, or you're a black woman, you like a black guy. That's normal. But for whatever reason, they get bothered when you show mulattoes love because they think they own your ass. They have this basically oppressor mindset. They've adopted the oppressor mindset from their white massa. That's an issue that you mulattoes gotta observe and basically call out and strategize on how to avoid them. Or if you deal with them, make sure you get the best deal possible. Don't put yourself in a position where they can screw up your money and your social status. Because the double standard, the hypocrisy is out of this friggin' world, right? They're cool showing each other love. No one complains, no problem. But you, as a mulatta, you show a mulatto man love. They want to shame your ass. That's what they're trying to do with this Miss Mulatta chick. But it happens in a microcosm level as well, right? They'll shame you. They'll call you a pick me. They've done it with a lot of women, even that supported my platform, my social media. You had this creep, the future is golden content creator who was trying to shame these mulatto women from like supporting my channel. She's like basically a creepy groomer trying to tell these women, don't support him, don't support his channel, don't comment on his channel, right? I'm like, and she's only worried about the women who support the channel. That's the thing that's creepy about it. She doesn't give a damn if the guys support me or watch my shit. It's only when the women support, then she has a problem with that. I'm like, why is it her business, right? It's these are these black identified people. They hate the fact when the mulatto men and the mulatto women show each other love. They want to get in the middle of it and stir up trouble. Yeah, we got to point it out and call it out. So let me share the next one as well. Just going to go through. I got like 10 more of these. And then I'll get into some of your guys' comments if you have anything to add. This one right here says that white side always comes out sooner or later. You're mulatto, you're biracial, you're half white, half European. What the hell are these people talking about? And we could say the same for them. Their ghetto primitive side comes out sooner or later, right? If their EBT card's not working, they tear up the whole dang store. We could have the same stereotypes for them, but that would be inappropriate and that would be deemed offensive. But they do it to you. See, they're too comfortable dissing you guys because you guys don't check their ass and call it out. That's the issue. They're way too comfortable, you know. Once they see more of you check them, hold them accountable, you'll start to see that they'll basically suppress these views. But they're very bold in public on social media, you know, with these views. We're like, how the hell did these people get this much courage and confidence knowing your history in this country? How the hell are you so confident talking all this shit? Like, who's coddling you? Who's making you people feel this confidence? you know. It's a lot because of you biracials, man. Be honest. You mulattoes, you give them their confidence. You make them feel good because you guys act like they're little subordinates. So, you know. Um, and like I said, this person says mulattoes got to stick together. And then, of course, you see the comment underneath that says, especially ones with white moms. So they had to add that emphasis there, white moms. But the fact is, like, well, mulattoes got to stick together. Well, when people say blacks got to stick together, nobody complains. I don't complain. But see, they think they own you. That's what I'm trying to tell you, mulattoes. Like, if you identify with them, I mean, if you're going to get the best situation possible, if they're paying you or you're a leader of them, I guess that's cool. Like a Louis Farrakhan or Dr. Claude Anderson or Barack Obama. If you're a leader amongst them, I get it. You're in a position, you know. But if you're not even a leader amongst them or getting money from them, like, why do you even entertain them in this capacity when you see this type of racism? Mulattoes got to stick together. So what? Deal with it. And see, they're fearful of you guys sticking together, supporting each other. And like I said, repeating myself, I'm reading the comment here from this individual says, especially ones with white moms. What does that mean? I think because they feel like in their head that ones that have black moms will be more subordinate and acquiescent to black people. That's just an observation. And there's legal, basically, precedent of that. There's a historical context for that. I'll get into that in the future for why that is taking on the status of the mother, right? If it was an enslaved woman or if it was a free woman, white woman, then the child would take it's a different, cultures pass through differently. So there is some context there, but this is and a lot of them they use that against us. They use that against us to splinter us as a group because they feel like they have more influence over those that have black moms. They feel like they have more influence. But I feel like that will probably only work with the black mom mulattoes who are female. That might only work more with them. I think with the men, they realize that with this whole light skin shit, if you're a man in their community, like there's just outright disrespect they have towards you. And they're just trying to tarnish your sexual marketplace value on a daily basis. And even so-called dark-skinned black women, like, and they're preferring dark-skinned Pookie over you, and you're a light-skinned dude, and you got a black mom, and you're raised by them, and you're looking around wondering what the hell. I'm not saying that's the case for everybody in that circumstance or whatever, but let's be real, guys. The guys who watch me or listen to me or they see me on social media and stuff, there's a reason why you're tuning in. Unless you're a hate watcher, which I don't know, like, what you get from that. You're just going to be upset with me, and I'm not even upset with you. It's kind of a waste of energy. Another comment, guys, here is Mr. L, his name. Man, myth, the legend. Not the legend, the legend, right? Says, get this white woman off here, right? Now she's white because she's showing love to a mulatto man. Didn't I tell you guys, right? See, for the males, the black males in the African-American community, their racism and hate, they'll start to show it towards the biracial female if the biracial female shows love to the light-skinned man or mulatto man or even white man. That's why a lot of these black racists, they hate Sage Steele, right? Because she's not married to a black guy. She doesn't have children from a black guy. That's why they hate her. So black guys, they're only comfortable with biracial women they know that are basically baby mamas. Those are the ones they feel comfortable with. They're like, oh, okay, she's been conquered by a black guy. Okay, she's part of our group now. They feel like she's safe. See, that's why he's basically calling her a white woman, which is partially true. Miss Mulatto is part white. She even has a song like I Got It From My Mama, Big Mama. She has a good relationship with her family. She embraces her heritage. That's why she used the name mulatto. She says she doesn't identify as black. If she had to pick, she'd identify as mulatto or biracial. So she identifies with us. Just her business, her market, she makes money off these blacks, That's just what it is. And they're upset. See, they're cool if Asians make money off them. They give them millions every friggin' week. See, they're cool if Mexicans make money. They're cool if whites make money off them and Jewish people make money off them. But whenever it's like a Drake or a Miss Mulatto, right, then they're going to call you culture vulture. They're going to get racist towards you, right? They don't think you should benefit off of them. The relationship, the situation that's established right now, It's like parasitic. They want to benefit everything off of you. They want to claim all your wins and they want to subjugate you and be over you. They don't feel like you should benefit from them. This is not a kind of equal, kind of reciprocal relationship. This is what I'm trying to tell people. They get really upset when you benefit from them, but they want all the benefits from you, right? See how he calls her white woman. Oh, she's white now. Okay, yeah, partially true, but it's only a half truth. Let's just say that. Now, I wanted to go into this comment in more detail from this guy, but I can go into it later. Maybe we'll see. I might just move on because I kind of wanted to finish this. But this guy right here, it says Mr. Gee 54. It says Uncle Daddy Weeyum. Them biracials stick together. It seems very innocuous. We already read a couple comments from them biracials, them mulattoes got to stick together. This particular guy, other people on X called his ass out. This guy who's putting this stupid comment, his wife or baby mama, whatever, is actually biracial. And that's why people were checking his ass. I mean, I might do a separate video or something on that if I can, because it's just too good. It's just the hypocrisy with these people is out of this world. This guy literally has a biracial partner, a female, but he hates to see a biracial female support a biracial man. And it's because they think they own your ass. They're like, literally, they act like your oppressor. They think you belong to them and you have to identify as them. They only want you to claim their identity so they can have access to you. They don't want other groups to have access to you because they want to use you as a bridge, as a proxy to get to approximate themselves to white people. That's literally what it is. Well, they'll tell you, well, biracial is not a race. You got to pick either white or black. And since the whites don't even like you, you just got to be with us blacks. So shut up, right? That's how they position themselves when they talk to you. And that's kind of where this guy is coming from, that energy, where they think they own you. So if you show other mulattoes love, they feel threatened by that, like you're cutting off sexual access. You're cutting off access, especially, like I said, he's upset because it's a female. It's a mulatto female showing a mulatto man love. That really gets them upset. If it's a mulatto man showing a mulatto love, they'd have nothing to say. Like, even for me, I show a lot of mulatto women love. That's why a lot of mulatto women, they like my platforms, right? So what the hell are they going to say about that? What's the worst they can say? You're an incel, mulatto vanguard. Okay, cool. It's not going to stop the ladies from supporting me and watching my shit. So that's all good. But yeah, it's they're really upset when the mulatto women show the mulatto men love. Yeah, but this guy's a huge hypocrite, man. Says them biracials got to stick together, but he has a biracial partner. The public is already like shown that over on X. It's friggin' crazy, the hypocrisy. But yeah, it's because they think they own you. Literally. It's not just me saying that, it's their actions speak for itself. They think they're the only ones who should have access to you. So, and then they'll try to shame you when you guys have pride in yourself. And this commenter here, Black Widow, says, I don't know why y'all shocked that half breeds. This is a black racist. Look at how she's like all smiling. She's all proud and smiling like she's such an innocent butterfly. And what's disgusting about these creatures is they literally walk around in public like they're just nice and good people, like they're innocent victims, and all the whites are racist, and that's a racist colorist Hispanic, and that's like they point the finger and call everybody racist. And they're very proud and bold. You look at her, if that's her picture, I don't know, her avatar says, I am Khadija, Black Widow, and she has makeup on, her little wig on, and she's smiling. Like, because I'm saying, like, they're very arrogant today. And they probably work for whites or work for Asians. They're giving their money to all these other races. And they'll blame and point the finger and say everyone else is racist. But then they jump their black ass on the internet and they show their anti-mulatto racism. And I'm just here reporting the news like, this is crazy. The hypocrisy is insane. And look at this black female says, I don't know why y'all shocked that half breeds, like referring to us as dogs, right? Calling us half breeds with white mamas stick together. LMAO, people be fake as F in the industry. I would love to know like the biracial people and the mulattoes who are around her in the workplace, or the white women around her in the workplace. Cause I always say to them too, I'm like, how are these white people hiring these creatures? If they even know, they're probably not even made well aware because they don't even care about these people unless they're dancing and singing for them or serving them in some capacity in the work environment. But I would be surprised, she probably works for white people, has white managers, supervisors in the workplace, whatever the hell she's doing. And it's like, and then this is the type of shit they talk. They talk about you like this, you know, and she's probably got some biracials, mulattoes in her family. Imagine how they would feel if they knew that one of their relatives is talking about them like this, right? And it's all, it's a jealousy thing with the whole white mama thing. It's jealous. She's mad because black men prefer other races of women over their own. And when they're reminded, when they see a mulatta or mulatto who has a black father, white mother, they're reminded of that the black man rejected her black rear end and chose a different partner. That's what's really upset. It's like a insecurity thing with them. And that's why she's wearing a wig and all the other shit, right? She hates herself. So she's projecting that onto you. But what I'm looking at here and observing is the racist black supremacist language, the half breed. That's the same shit the white supremacists say because they want to be white supremacists. They want to feel like they have power over the biracials. Like, what part of that don't you guys get with this rhetoric that they're spouting, right? So let's move on to the other one. I got several more. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly and then check out some of your guys' comments. I got a few more. Now, this person put, "This is disappointing." That's whatever. That's kind of innocuous, But what are they disappointed by? It's just a mulatto showing a mulatto man love. Like, how is that disappointing? It's kind of a stupid comment, but the dude's the one of the mulatto guys sent it to me, so I'm just kind of sharing it. Another comment that's kind of innocuous says, "The biracial sticking together. So what? Deal with it. So what? You're gonna see more of it now, especially you got guys like me out here. You're gonna see a lot more of it. So get used to it." Check this one out. Another racist comment. Now, this is like yeah, troll account, sock puppet avatar. It says Megan, Queen of Rap Stallion. So it's a Megan the Stallion kind of stan account, right? Look at the comment here. It puts she gonna always side with her cracker side, with her cracker mama. Guys, see the racism? See the black supremacists? See the racist black supremacists? See the comment, guys? Right. They're gonna be the first ones to complain about, light skins being colorist, the first ones to complain about Latinos being racist, about whites being racist. But look at them. Look at their blatant racism towards you guys. And I rarely see anybody call this out. Of course, I got to call it out and I got to be the bad guy. That's kind of how it works. But shit, I mean, I'm the one who has courage up here to call this out. I could have zoomed it this whole time. I apologize. I think you guys can see it, but I just zoomed it in right now. Literally halfway in. I should have did this from the beginning, but for this comment specifically, yeah, I'm definitely going to zoom it in. Yeah, and I can repeat it again, read it. She gonna always side with her cracker mama. Super racist, anti-white, right? That queen of rap title will never be yours, no matter how much you try, right? Because only a black female can be the, the queen of rap, right? Isn't that what they're saying with Drake? They're saying you're not authentic. You don't write your songs. You're from Canada. You got a white mom. See, they're competing with you, and the sad part is a lot of mulattoes or biracials don't understand that these people, they're not competing with whites in industry, science, technology, military, finance. They're not competing with whites. They're fighting for white acceptance. I'm talking about Bantus, blacks. They're fighting for white acceptance. They're competing with mulattoes to get proximity and to get white acceptance. And they're jealous and hate you because you're half white. And you're naturally, that's your birthright. You're going to have that and access more than they ever will. And that's what you're seeing from this comment. Just the vitriol on racism. All Big Lotto did, she didn't say anything anti-black or anti anybody. She's showing a mulatto man love, and it triggers the racist black supremacists and their hate for mulattoes and for white people, specifically white women. Okay. And then a guy puts a comment here, or gal, whatever, says Drake is white. And then a person replies and says, "A cracker Torontian, yes, sir." Crazy racism, these black supremacists, crazy, crazy. But they love that victim title. That's the thing that amazes me. They love being little special victims, and then they'll point the finger and say, you know, I was about to say Barack Obama, but Mulatto Vanguard is so anti-black and so racist. They love the biracial baby mamas and their Bantu supremacist gang. They love to throw that out there, and just other like little weirdo kind of trolls. But it's like they never talk about this stuff. Is it interesting? They'll never highlight this. They're always going to be silent on this, the blatant racism. Crazy, crazy stuff. Let me move on to the next comment. Got a few more for you guys. So let's check this out. Okay, it's another black female. She says, "Why are y'all expecting biracials with white mothers to act any other way? But how are they acting? They're showing each other love. Like, how is that not normal? Because I don't even think it's the white mama shit like with Drake or with Lotto. Do you think they come together and be like, my white mom, white my mom? Every mulatto man and woman I talk to or connect with on social media, I don't talk to these people and bring up their moms or their father, their parents, or family. It's like just a personal thing from male to female, mulatto to mulatta. It's just on a personal level. Where are you at as far as like, what are your goals? Where are you at as far as the identity, the consciousness? Where do you see yourself in the future? Have you seen this? Just comparing notes. Like, I don't talk to anybody about like their parents. It's like I don't know people like that. It's not my business to bring family stuff up. It's weird, but these are these people who mostly come from broken homes. Remember, that communita, okay, where you see these racist black supremacists or comments, they come from a communita where it's 75+% out of wedlock birth rates, where they're mostly raised by black females. No father in a household. So it's a lot of projection with them. So they're out here jumping on social media talking about everyone's parents. Like, what the hell? That has nothing to do with anything. I guarantee you it's a conspiracy they're pushing about this white mom biracial shit. I guarantee you Drake and Big Lotto don't even mention each other's moms. They don't give a damn. It's all business. They're both rappers and they both happen to be biracial. They're both biracial identified, both of them. Drake and Miss Mulatta, they're both mulatto identified. So they're sharing each other, they're showing love to each other. But you have these black racist females who jump up in here and spread their hate and racism, right? And most of them work for white women. And that's they're coping. See, they're hating and projecting. It's like, why would you be surprised or act like with white mothers to act any other way to show each other love? How are they supposed to act? They want you guys fighting each other. That's exactly what it is. They want you guys at each other's neck. They want to push the whole gender war shit. That's what it is. They want you guys to fight each other. And because they want to consume you and absorb you and neutralize you so you don't have prominence in society. They see what's happening with the NBA. I told you guys, like in sports, we already dominated and took it over at NFL, NBA. So, and they look at it as hip hop, the whole hip hop entertainment industry, as their last bastion of hope for black masculinity, black excellence. They even know Hollywood, we've already dominated it. Halle Berry, Zendaya is the highest paid biracial female, right? And they're trying to frame her as black to take that win. She's got a white mom, but I see publications talking about Zendaya, the highest paid black female, and whatever Hollywood, but she's got a white mom. She's a mulatta, right? So they want to claim that win. And we're dominating everywhere: academia, politics, science, military. So they feel like with the entertainment thing, especially the music industry, this is their last bastion of hope. This is why they're going so hard in the paint with this Drake situation. They know the mulatto takeover is already upon us. It's inevitable. And so this is really what it is here. And someone replied, "No black women can have blonde hair. She's one of us." She says Lotto is siding with Drake. But why not? Drake is promoting her. Drake has a larger audience. He's more successful, a larger Yeah, this is live. This is live right now, bro. Yeah, I'm just checking out your comment. I'm gonna get to your guys' comments in a minute. I'm just going through some other stuff right now. Yeah, we're live right now. Live right now. For everyone watching me, go follow me over on X. I got it pinned to my chat. It's Mulatto with one T Vanguard. Go over on X, go follow me over there. And you put here, yo, have you heard this new Tyler Creator album? Hoping he said he hates light skin man. Yeah, I talked about it briefly, like several minutes ago. I briefly talked about it. I'm hoping maybe light skin history. He can talk about it because I like his commentary with the whole like light the colorism thing from the light skinned male perspective. Because I do mulatto kind of centered content, biracial centered content, but I do kind of throw in some of the colorism stuff, the light skinned male perspective stuff. But I think light skin history, I feel like he's able to articulate things because he's from the African American community. So he's dealt with it and he has many stories to share. I just feel like that's kind of his lane. He's better at articulating the colorism stuff. So I would hope that I'm pretty sure maybe light skinned historians aware of that. Tyler the Creator, because I'd kind of like I'd rather him kind of get the shine and talk about that because that's more up his alley. But yeah, I heard about that today or yesterday. I mentioned that a couple several minutes ago. But yeah, shout out to you for being here. Make sure you guys hit the like button. And getting back to this comment right here, this person says Lotto is siding with Drake, but like I said, Drake has a larger platform, larger audience. He brought her there on stage on tour, given her opportunities. That's the way it should be. The mulatto men should provide for mulatto women and give these mulatto women opportunities. And see, now you have the racist black people in America who are trying to punish Miss Mulatta with racial slurs. They want to punish her for reciprocating the kind of respect and support because the mulatto man Drake showed her love. Drake has shown everybody love, man. And the same people he showed love, they turned their back on him, stabbed him in the back. Kendrick Lamar, ASAP Rocky, Rick Ross, Future, the list goes on and on. The Weeknd, crazy long list. That's why he had that song, What Did I Miss? Was they talk about LeBron James, all these dark skinned Bantus who turned on Drake because Drake got the biggest mulatto wake up call. You know, he just doesn't understand that there's a lot of racism and envy and jealousy within the mind and hearts of dark skinned Bantus in North America. And they hate when a mulatto man, a light skinned man, is successful, getting money, and has the respect from white society. They hate that. They envy that. They wish they were you. And so Drake is getting a lot of hate. And he's waking up and realizing this is a life lesson for him. You know, that's you gotta support some mulattoes out here, man. We're out here. We're out here. You gotta support. And so yeah, and so this person here puts Lotto is siding with Drake. Like so. And what if when Shaquille O'Neal sides with LeBron, are you people gonna whine and cry? Of course not. That's normal to you. It's only when the mulattoes see they think they own your ass. That's why they have this mindset. They have this kind of colonizer mindset where they think they own your ass and you're supposed to give them all this loyalty and they don't give you shit except for a fake ass invite to the cookout or black acceptance. That's conditional. They can revoke it if you quote unquote don't act right. But I'm sitting there like, well, what the hell did Miss Mulatta do that wasn't quote unquote acting right? Because they're going to try to pull the same shit with her they did with Sage Steele. They're going to try to make false claims that she said something anti-black. Right? Didn't they say that Miss Mulatta, she referred to her hairdresser as like a monkey or something, or orangutan? I know what's her name, Paris Milan, the YouTuber, made a video about that before. This is like several years ago, because Miss Mulatta called her hairdresser like her favorite orangutan or something. It's like, so what? Get over it, man. So they'll do that. They'll say their hate is justified because you made one little comment. But look at all their damn comments they make on you, right? So they're the most racist and they're getting exposed. They're the new racist, right? They want to act just like racist white people. That's really what it is. They want power, but they need a population to feel like that power over. And that's where biracials conveniently come into play. They look at you as being a useful utilitarian class to wield influence and power over. That's why this whole identity thing, that's why they hate the word mulatto. You notice how it's non-mulattoes who hate the word mulatto more than us? We're looking at them like, you're not even one of us. Your ass is just shut the hell up and mind your business. Well, you don't know. I'm actually mixed race too. I got 20%. I don't give a damn about your little 30% colonizer DNA. Go sit your ass over there and shut up. You're not one of us. Okay. But this is what they'll do to try to wiggle their way in our conversation. Well, I got some European. I don't give a damn what you got. Okay. And yeah, I gotta check these fools. And you got a comment here. It says further proof biracials aren't black. Yeah, we're not black. And even looking at this fool in the picture, they're looking mighty light skinned. Look at their little avatar. Let me zoom it up. Little avatar. Look at their legs. They're on the beach somewhere. I don't know. Their legs, their legs are just as pale and white as mine, man. You know, I'm talking about black. Man, everyone's gonna call you white when your dumbass goes to Zimbabwe. You know. Further proof biracials aren't black. Yeah, we're not black. We're biracial. Yeah, that's nothing new. So you thought you ate, but you didn't, homie. Person puts here, never trust a mixed race bird. Never trust us because we're showing love to other mixed race people. Don't trust us. For me, I don't want your trust. When I saw, several years ago, all of you racist black supremacists talking about Chancellor Williams, the mulatto problem, I already knew I had to pivot and get away from you savages. I already knew right back then. I just didn't have the vocabulary, the kind of networking capabilities. I didn't have really a solid vision at that time. But I saw these videos popping up on YouTube about, irritated genie reading Chancellor Williams, the mulatto problem. I saw this several years ago. I already knew right then and there, okay, I got to pivot away from these savages because they're staging an attack on mulattoes. I already knew this. I already knew that the trust wasn't there because it's conditional. They want mulattoes to be subordinates where they can benefit from the relationship, and they want us to like be humble. They want you to be humble for them, but then they can be all arrogant and brass and bold and parade around like that's black masculinity. That's black masculinity. The black man is winning. But when the mulatto man wins, when the mulatto man is cracking skulls and stepping on people, all of a sudden you're a colonizer, or you're a racist, and you're anti-black. We're like, you're just a male competitor in the market, right? So they want to be able to brag, and then they'll position it as masculinity. But when you do it, oh, you're racist and you're not humble. And they only want you to be humble. That's the relationship. No, I'm not whole destruction of black civilization crap. And this another black female, August Night Ride, says weird ass biracials or biracial, singular, not plural. But I'm sitting there like, what's weird? A biracial lady showing love to a biracial man. To her, that's weird. See, very biased, very biased. It's only cool if black people show each other love. When you do it, it's a problem. Then they get very scared. Someone puts a comment here, half and half's got to stick together. That's like the same as, biracials or mulattoes got to stick together, or half breeds, right? Person saying half and half. What the, like they're so bothered and uppity about that. It's crazy. And the guy puts here, let me zoom it in, says both of y'all Caucasians cosplaying niggas, so I get it. you know. And he's a black dusty dude. So he's upset because the mulatto woman showing the mulatto man love. You both Caucasians. You just cosplaying as niggas, right? The dude's a dusty bum, man. Dude just straight up hating. And another person here, weird. They got Marxist in their user weird kind of troll account. Puts the mulattoes forming like Voltron. Nah, you haven't seen anything yet. This is just a little singular issue from some hip hop people in the industry. This is nothing yet. Nothing yet. So those are pretty much. I went through a bunch of comments. Those are basically what was sent to me from a gentleman. But I'll check out some of your guys' comments. And Sal HQ in the house, shout out to you. The Amazing M says, sup, what's up? Iberian Mulatto is in the house, shout out to you. You put, isn't some gay rapper who is that Tyler the Creator? He seems like he's pretty sweet and moist to me. I don't know. I think it's less that people resent or dislike mulattoes support each other. It's more that supporting certain mulatto people is deemed off limits. No, they don't want us to support each other. The reason why, especially because they're having a coordinated attack, right? The Bantus are being propped up by Zionists and Anglos in the music industry, entertainment industry, to attack this mulatto man from Canada, Drake, who's number one. It's all a money power play because Drake is negotiating, trying to get a $500 million contract negotiation. They want to tarnish his marketplace value so they can pay him less, right? And they're using this Bantu stooge, Kendrick Lamar, as a proxy, right? And there's a lot of gullible black people who are falling for it, and that's basically what you're seeing with it. So, but it's because it's a coordinated attack, and they see Miss Mulatto, a mulatto woman, showing him love. That's why they're hating on him because they're saying you said deemed off limits because they're staging this attack, this coup. They're trying to get him out of the entertainment industry, trying to get him to cower and back off because he's a number one rapper, entertainer, R&B singer in the market. The only people who can compete with Drake are like the big names, like a Justin Bieber or Beyonce, and those are all pop stars, right? But Drake is so big, like he's in the hip hop, pop, R&B. He's all of that because he's so talented. Shout out to you, Val. It's always good to see you here. They also are under the impression that all of our mothers who are black are mentally ill and brainwashed us into thinking we're black. And that's a very good point. Exactly. That's a very good point. They kind of miscalculate thinking that a lot of black women or black mothers of biracial children are going to instill a black identity on their biracial child, which is not always the case, especially if the child was raised in suburbia. I'm saying especially, but you guys could prove me wrong, those of you, the audience. That if they're raised in an environment where their father was present, they have a strong father figure, white father, I think it's going to play out differently versus someone who didn't, their white father wasn't in the household. They were just raised by kind of a black woman around black people. It's going to turn out a lot differently, right? Then they're going to be more so consumed with the black identity. That's, how things go. But you guys know better than me. You guys can tell me, fill me in on that. That's just my observation. And Val puts, my mom never once ever described me as black and told me I was black. Same for my dad. Yeah. They think you will be dumb enough to see your own mother in a random black female stranger. Yeah. Yeah, I know that's like me. Like I see these random random white women and random Karens. You can say, I can use that term. There's so many Karens in America, and they think I'm going to see this woman and see my mom and her. Fuck out of here. Yeah, right. Some stranger out here. I mean, that's a lot of them think. You can ask that black person. It's like, do they see random black women on the street as being their black mom? Like they try to guilt trip black men and tell them, yo, mama's black, so you should give it the black female. Like that's just some weirdo shit, man. I don't look at these strangers as being like relatives or something like that. So that thinking is kind of bizarre. And you put here, maybe a lot of people don't realize that black Americans think as a hive mind. Yes. And there's a gentleman who pointed this out to me as well, or he didn't really point it out. He just kind of affirmed my suspicion. Let me put it that way. He's a mulatto guy. He affirmed my suspicion that, yeah, because I talked about this a couple years ago, and it's like, yeah, a lot of these dark skins, man, they have a hive mind. They agree on so much as far as when the mulattoes come into the equation. Then they all of a sudden agree, like with this whole white mom thing. But it's funny because you, Val, you have a black mom, right? So what can they say about that, right? But yeah, they have a hive mind and agree when it comes to certain issues when it involves mulattoes. That's the crazy thing about it, is they do collectivize and they express collectivism when mulattoes are in the equation. When it's other issues and other politics or social thing, then it's like they're split up. They don't all agree, right? But when it comes to mulattoes, a lot of them form like Voltron to attack us. And you're seeing that play out with this Drake situation. That's why I'm trying to highlight to people. I'm not the biggest Drake fan, never have been. But this is a great opportunity for me to highlight how a lot of them, they're showing that they're black racist and they're anti-mulatto. And they're using Drake as like a proxy. They don't give a damn about Drake. They all like his music. They're liars. They say they don't. They're all dancing to his songs a couple years ago. It's just they see an opportunity to hate and destroy this man's reputation, and they're seizing that opportunity, you know. And then finishing your comment, you put, that's why they always say us and we when talking about themselves. Yeah, very good point. Thank you for the comment. You're so right. Shout out to Zay the Pariah. They just subscribed to your channel the other day. Shout out to Lightskin History, because Lightskin History made me aware. He shared your video. That's how I found your channel, because I didn't know, but you're talking that light skin shit and mulatto shit. So I appreciate you being another voice out here. And you're on camera just like I am. So I appreciate you for that as well. We need more visible mulatto men and women to be on camera and to basically share our life experiences and make money in the process and get notoriety in the process and develop a network in the process. I mean, we're all here. We're not going anywhere. So our numbers are only going to grow. So it's about time we become more visible. So you put, that's one of the microaggressions, calling us white or something, non-black, to offend us. Like you're saying they want us to claim blackness and treat it like gold. Yeah. Like, how is that offensive when they're saying you're white or something? Well, that's part of my heritage. What the fuck? That's like a compliment to me. I don't give a shit. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. They want you to be their subordinate. Right. And they're losing that battle. They know it. That's why their racism showing. They don't get called out on their racism. That's why I'm basically here to basically hold them accountable. They're used to not getting called out on their racism. That's the big issue we see here on social media. Because of that victim status, being former slaves, they feel like they can get away and they're justified doing whatever the hell they want. The Amazing M puts, if they can't get white women, they get Latinas. If they can't get Latina, they go for mulattas. If they can't get mulatta, they go for a light-skinned black woman. It's a good observation. Good observation. I wouldn't say I agree with that, but that's a good observation. Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that. And I'll tell you why, because I don't know if I want to even say it. My male thinking with getting into specifics. Now, I don't agree with that. I think it's more so backwards. The way you laid it out here, you put they first they go for white, then Latina, then mulatta, then light skin black. I honestly, my personal opinion is that it's in reverse from what I see. They want the light skin black first, then the mulatta, and that they're kind of in the same category for all intents and purposes. People put guys like me in the light skin black category all the time, whatever, based off phenotype, but culturally, heritage, clearly we're not similar. And yeah, so I'm just saying that you're kind of, the list you have here, I'd put it in reverse, but that's just my opinion. Exactly. The Amazing M. I think Bantu men only want mulattoes because they didn't have access to white women previously. Interesting. Yeah. So you guys agree. That's interesting. Interesting. Mulattoes was the closest thing to white women. And yeah, I agree. I agree to an extent, for sure. Yeah, you guys make a good point. Yeah. I think we have to talk about that more, for sure. I want to kind of get through the comments, but I think that's a very solid point both of you are making. They only go for the mestiza Latinas. So we're now focusing this now on the black male's preference. I guess that's what the conversation, because I didn't even start the stream. It's not even just about the black guys or the black females. Independently, I'm talking about it as a group, how they both joined together to attack mulatto women for supporting mulatto men, and vice versa. That's my angle. I'm not even trying to single out the gender, the black male or black female. I'm talking about how them as a group, a communita, and how they have a hive mindset, and how when they see mulatto women supporting mulatto men and they see us developing a sense of cohesion, that they get irritated by that. That's where I'm going at with this. So I don't give a damn about the black dude's preference and shit, or the black female's preference. They're adults. It's not my business. What the hell am I going to do? I'm just reporting the news. When I see the anti-mulatto hate, the racism, I'm reporting the news. So you put here, they only go for mestiza Latinas or for the mulatta Latinas. The white Latinas don't give black American guys no kind of play, not in California, not New Jersey, New York. I don't know. See, I don't necessarily agree, but because everyone's getting play, with these different demographics and groups. And I'm saying everyone, it's, male and female, everybody is just messing around out here in the US of A. So I don't know, just everyone's opinion's different. You put even when Bantu men are interested in you romantically, they are still racially insecure about being black. Yeah. So they never stop bringing up race and skin color. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing for them, right? Yep. They act exactly like insecure black women, the black dudes, yeah, for sure. And they got to project that onto light skinned people, right? They'd cut off their right arm to be white tomorrow. It's pretty extreme. Damn. You said, but if I call a Bantu gorilla with injected lips, then I would be racist. Of course. Yeah. It's only racist when the mulatto, holds them accountable and challenges their rhetoric, right? Then it's racist. Then it's anti-black. But as I just shared with you guys, all those comments they made, that's perfectly normal for them and their community where they can be racist and hateful and anti-mulatto. That's why it's important for mulattoes to create their own networks, their own tribes, their own communities, their online spaces, network. Look for people you can work with. I tell people every day, I'm not special. I'm just a voice amongst other voices, but find people you could work with, you vibe with. That's it. But look at the notes and evidence and the reality of the situation. Am I wrong in my reporting, in my analysis? Like you see all those comments, like, what is that for? Just because the mulatto woman, Miss Mulatta, showed love to a mulatto man, that triggered them for their black supremacist rage. It's just crazy. They always bring up themselves in every conversation. No joke. I was talking about a cat with a BW, and she said, "Yeah, but what about black people?" Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's main character syndrome. That's how we basically diagnosed it. Main character syndrome, where they got to be the main person of the whole scenario. They got to bring themselves in the equation to make themselves the main character, right? Because they're attention depraved. They're starved for attention, so that's what they need. That validation. Again, guys, I'm not an absolutist. I'm not saying all. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm talking to those who it's applicable to. That's it, guys. So some of you people, if you're offended, then yeah, it kind of hit a nerve, and you're probably the person I'm speaking to. But if you're a decent, reasonable, well balanced person, I'm not even talking to you. Just let it fly. I'm just having a public conversation. So, but I'm not an absolutist. I always say that. Any topic, all topics, they always bring it back to themselves about blackness. Yeah, main character syndrome. Yeah, that's a big thing with them. The attention seeking because they get neglected in their childhood. Yeah, even when they're adults, they get neglected. That's why they have to dance and act stupid. And like I said, I'm not saying all guys, but you look at like the comedy stuff, the comedian stuff, where they on social media, and they're the funniest people. I give them that. Black Americans are the funniest people, and they dominate the kind of comedy space. But you look on social media, like on TikTok or YouTube, whatever, they have a lot of these skits, these kind of pranks. Isn't that what they call like these YouTubers or whatever streamers? I don't know the names, but you got guys. I think one guy's name was like Johnny Somali or something. He was over in Japan. Or Korea. He got arrested. He was acting stupid out there, but he's like a prankster. You have these type of guys who go in the street and do interviews and they prank people. It's like because they want that attention. That's what it is. Like normal people are not fucking around with strangers in public like that. But a lot of them, they'll get a camera, a microphone in front of them, their cell phone, and do start a social media, and they'll do these like pranks and crap because they want the attention. They want to act stupid and goofy. Like, what's the guy? His name is Kai, I think his name is. He's a popular streamer. I think his name's Kai. He does like hip hop crap, and he's one of these guys. He wants attention. He wants to act stupid and goofy. There's a whole lot of them, especially this younger kind of Gen Z generation. There's a lot of these younger streamers, like a decade younger than me, that are coming up, and they do this stupid crap where they act like idiots and fools, and they're doing that for attention. So yeah, shout out to you. I read that comment earlier. Yeah, shout out to Light Skin History. I hope he does some commentary on it. They just want white. They want acceptance for white people, exactly, and then they project that onto us, and they say, "Well, you just want to be white. You just want to be white." See, that's their own projection, right? And they know we'll always be closer to white than they ever will, because for us, it's our heritage, it's our genetics, it's biology. So they'll always throw that projection onto us, right? Or post white people loving animals. Black person brought up the race. Whites don't do it. Whites don't do it. Blacks. Oh, yeah. It's just the main character syndrome. What you're seeing there. They gotta always be the main character. You put what's weird is if you say you're half black, they hear total denial of blackness. Yeah, you're just supposed to say you're a black biracial. I'm black, but I got a white mama, like something like that. No, I'm black. No, no, I'm proud of myself. I'm black. But yeah, I'm mixed. I got a white mama. Like, no. No, I'm mixed. I'm half black. I got African heritage, but I'm mulatto, right? They don't like that. Like, you got a white mama. It's always the ones with white mamas who do that. Okay, cool. That's cool. Just make sure you know your place when you deal with me. That's what I always tell them. Yeah, show us appreciation as if you are alive because of them. Yeah. It's hard to have serious conversation. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. They made yeah, I saw TikTok saying I saw a video. Yeah. Let me check out. Let me kind of scroll through some of these comments. You put what? Tyler the test tube baby. I don't know anything about that. Tyler the creator. Like I said, I couldn't tell you one song. He just looks like a cornball, goofy guy. I don't know. And people were saying over on X that he makes music for like white people, which is plausible. I couldn't know. I couldn't tell you one song. I never even heard of Kendrick Lamar until a white boy brought him up. And a Mexican dude I was doing jujitsu with brought him up, like, oh, he's the only real rapper and shit. And I'm from the West Coast. I'm a California kid, so I didn't even know who the hell Kendrick Lamar was, but that's always been the audience, that's the woke crowd. And they hate Drake because Drake has them, and tenfold he has black, and everybody around the planet loves Drake, and they hate that about him. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to you, Val. I agree with everything you're saying pretty much. In college, Nigerian classmates and black boomer school leader, Caribbean, they were arguing with me because I said I was mixed. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the cat. Let me highlight the comment. Orlando. Let me get this comment. You put here, what did I miss? Yeah, the Drake, the Drizzy track. It's a banging track. Like that song. Yep. I'm eclectic. If you guys already know in my musical selection, like I'm playing some heavy metal to get me amped up. Usually when I go on my runs, I work out. I listen to a lot of metal and hip hop, but I played some Static X. It's like a '90s kind of metal band, and I played a guitar, obviously. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm eclectic. So I like jazz, hip hop, metal, and classical, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not one dimensional. I'm not a one dimensional Bantu that only listens to mumble rap. I'm playing everything over here, man. If you're gonna have a drink with me or something, we're gonna go chill. I'm gonna go rent out a suite somewhere at the Hilton. We're gonna chill. I'm gonna be playing some bossa nova jazz. When I was over in Rio de Janeiro, that was the vibe. Chilling with Beatrice, Boina, and some other Brazilians. That's the vibe, out there. Rio is a romantic city. It's probably the best city I've ever been to so far. Rio de Janeiro. I love the city. I'm gonna go back soon. And but that's the vibe out there for me. It was the beach vibe and just the bossa nova jazz. So I love jazz too, but I'm amped up or I'm ready for battle or something like that. Like I'm bumping some heavy metal or hip hop, depends. I'm starting to think most are brain dead. They side with each other. Even they're criminals. They side. That's one of their biggest downfalls. And everyone can admit that. Even white America can admit that one of their biggest deficits is they sympathize with their criminal class and side with their criminals. And I'll bring, for instance, like George Floyd. If you look at the rap sheet, the guy was a complete fucking scumbag. There's a story of him where he held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly. He tried to rob her. You guys heard that story, right? Am I making this up? Is it true or is it false? You guys tell me. This is what's out there. That George Floyd held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach and was threatening her, trying to rob her. That is the most insidious shit imaginable. But you had a lot of black people just brush it off, didn't care, ignored it. And I'm not saying that George Floyd deserved to get snuffed out the way he did. Arrest the cop, and the cop did get arrested. That's good to me. That's justice. So I'm not saying free Chauvin or any of this weird shit. Like, no, that guy was a hardcore like police brutality guy or whatever you want to phrase it. I'm not justifying what happened to George Floyd, but I'm just saying you can, you don't have to romanticize the guy. Like, they have statues of him, and people will laugh and say like a crackhead statue because George Floyd was like a crackhead, right? Doing like drugs and stuff. But even the drug use stuff is minimal compared to the fact the story I heard is that he had a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. I'm like, how can you think that he's a nice guy? I'm not saying he deserved to go out the way that happened, but the guy was still a friggin' scumbag to do that to somebody, man. To try to rob somebody and to a female. See, that's the thing. That's the most insidious shit possible. But people will brush it off and still so that's the issue with them. Even they're criminals. Yeah, but if a mulatto supports a mulatto, yeah, it's wrong. We're evil. It's, your white side, your white mom. And I just tell these mulattoes, you guys haven't figured it out yet. I mean, that's why I broadcast and do these broadcasts. You guys haven't figured it out yet that it's one-sided against you, right? It like, they can do what they want. Their racism is just okay, but you do one little thing wrong and then like, oh, you're the bad guy. You guys haven't figured it out yet. The anti-mulatto hate that's going on out here. Though some of you have, a lot of you have, who tune into me, who kind of support my endeavor, social media, etc. You guys are noticing, but there's still a ton of mulattoes out here. The numbers are growing. I just wish more people would get involved in the conversation. That's my thing. I just wish more people would get involved because it's just our numbers are already here. It's just this is the time right now. If you ever have a conversation with a Black American about this, please expect them to lie 90% of the time. Damn. They have no real life trauma from whites, which is why they have to bring up slavery. That's a good point. They might have a story like I've heard. You're right. A lot of them, they like romanticize like the trauma and they create fake trauma from white people, right? Because like I remember one guy was talking about when he was a kid, he was riding his bike and a white guy who was also riding his bike like they crossed paths and he called him the N-word. And he was trying to make it sound like that was the worst thing possible. A white person called him a slur out of his name. Like, oh my God, that's so bad. It's like racism, but they act all big and bad. A lot of these Bantus, 6 foot tall and doing push-ups and shit, and they act all like they're big and bad and tough, but then they bring up like a little comment that someone made that was like so bad. That's the crazy part. Like they're really reaching, right? And then they got, like you said, they got to go back to slavery because they have nothing else. They have no other scenarios or stories of mistreatment. I'm not saying all are like that, but there's many cases of that, and you have witnessed that as well, right? Yeah. Let me just check out. Let me kind of skim through some of these comments before I kind of move on, because there's a lot of you. I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, guys, hit the like button. I see some of you guys hit the like button. I like if more of you do, but I know I got hate watchers. It's inevitable. And but yeah, if you guys use X or Twitter, go follow me over there. It's pinned on x.com, Mulatto Vanguard. Go follow me over there. I appreciate that. You give me a follow, I'll follow you back immediately. Appreciate that. And then you put Tyler the Creator, the Baby, Black Youngster, all dislike light skinned men. Yeah, they're all racist, and they all got light skinned partners. And that's why like light skinned men really got to amp it up and start calling these people out. You got to call these boys out, man, because it's just look at the Baby, little short, little dark skin, like Kendrick Lamar, but yet his baby mama is the one who did the Yellowbone song. What was her name? Danny Lay, I think it is. So they get with light skinned chicks, but they hate the light skinned men. It's like, dude, you light skinned guys, you're African American. Stop identifying with them because you guys are enablers. You're letting them think it's okay to have this arrangement. That's why I say there's a big difference between a mulatto man and light skinned African American. Big difference, because mulatto man, if you're like Drake, you got to identify as mulatto. Don't identify with those people because this is the shit that happens. You got Kendrick Lamar calling you a colonizer, you know, and this dude's married to a friggin' half white woman. How is this normal, guys? Right? And then you put here Black Youngster and Yo Gotti never told Slim Duncan, a light skinned mixed guy, nothing when he was alive. Yeah, it says they would have got touched. Interesting. Yeah. What they started talking shit when he passed away. I'm guessing that's the story. It's odd how offended and people get when you state what you are. You put they love and hate white people at the same time. Yeah, it's a crazy relationship they got. Lies and pretend their community gives mulatto something special. It's the opposite. Stay away. That's the thing. Thank you for that, Val. You're speaking my language. Yeah, thank you. And that's the biggest lie is they're pretending like they give you some status in their community. When the mulatto woman, they want to bastardize them and make them baby mamas to neutralize them, turn them into a fetish. Look at Miss Mulatta. All she did was show Drake love and they're calling her slurs. She didn't say anything anti-black. They're calling her slurs for showing another biracial man love. That just shows that they just want power over you. They want to bastardize you, fetishize you, and use you for your resources. But as you said, and which is my calculation as well, is that they pretend like their community gives you some status. Oh, the light skinned people are always praised in a black community. Bullshit. They pick on your ass. They try to mock you. They try to get you to humble you. They want to humble you and beat you down because they want an ego boost. They can't humble that Asian that owns the business. They're going to kick their black ass out the store and say, hurry up and buy. Same thing with Arabs who run the businesses in their communities or the whites who hire them. They can't tell them shit. So they need an ego boost. So they'll beat up each other, look at the crime rates, and then they'll try to punk mulattoes. That's where they want to get their ego boost. But they jump on the internet and pretend. See, they can lie to all you people. They can't lie to me. They can't lie to the mulatto vanguard. They can't lie to me. You know, I'm already too astute. I've studied them enough. I already know what time it is. Yeah, they're going to pretend like they're giving you something. They're not paying you. They're not giving you cash apps. They're not supporting you in any capacity, but they'll this lie and fabrication like you're going to get some special status. But yeah, it's the opposite. You know, they're going to question your identity. Well, I don't trust you. Never trust mulattoes. You know, Chancellor Williams warned us in his book. I'm like, fuck you, savages, then. I'm not your people. I'm publicly telling you this shit. And I stay the hell away. Like you said right here, stay away. Yeah, fuck you. Talking all this shit about suspicion. Chancellor Williams warned us in the destruction of black civilization. When I started hearing that shit, I was like, okay, time for me to pivot. Got to get out of here because these people are on the attack. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. So now what's up? Yeah, tell me I'm wrong or debate me on that. I'd love to see because nobody's going to do that. They're not going to debate. They're going to do smear campaigns, slander, false allegations, all that. That's it. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to debate me on any of my arguments because I'll destroy them digitally, intellectually. I've heard of some black mothers telling their full black children if they could go back, they'd have all mixed kids instead. That's crazy. Yeah. And you put here, they're not comfortable calling mixed people black when it's a room full of mixed mulattoes. Interesting, yeah. We aren't outnumbered. I'm sure if you are only counting black, white mulattoes, many Caribbean Latinos in different states are mulattoes through generations. Bantus talk crazy online. Yeah, good point. Yeah. I was replying to a statement. Was asking, do Bantus feel outnumbered by mulattoes in a group? So do they call them black? Just miserable people who are jealous that they have the ability to get along with whites. Uh, yeah, Latinos and Asians. Yeah, they're jealous of mulattoes because we are mutable and have versatility. In these other groups, we're more adaptable. These other groups, and that's what the jealousy and hate they have. Because a lot of them are one dimensional. Like I'm saying, like you look at with me, a guy like me, my musical selection very eclectic. I can play some heavy metal and then, jazz and classical, and that's just a musical element. But also the other interest I have, like we're very versatile people if we live up to our full potential. right? We're very adaptable and we can relate to these cultures. And with them, a lot of them are one dimensional. They're so drawn into this ghetto black shit where it's just if it ain't hip hop, if it ain't Meg the Stallion and Kendrick or this type of crap, like they don't know how to adapt. It just doesn't register. I'm not saying all of them are like that. I'm saying, but that's very common. We run into characters who are like that. They're these one dimensional kind of Bantus, they can't adapt. And you're outnumbered in North America. You're never going to be the majority out here. They think that, the browning of America, they're going to have all these mixed mulattoes. They're going to breed with white people and they're going to create more blacks. You're not creating more blacks. You're creating more mulattoes. They're going to ask questions. They're going to do research online. They're going to find me. Okay. And my audience is going to grow. My platform visibility is going to grow. That's what's going to happen. They're going to ask questions. Bantus love taking airplanes to Brazil, DR, Puerto Rico, chase mulatto women in those places. And in Colombia, they chase white Latinas and mestiza colombianas. Interesting. The thing is, though, Bantus love doing that. But let's be honest, everyone loves doing that because white men are doing the same thing. Okay. Got to call a spade a spade. You want to talk about the whole passport bro thing. White guys have been doing that in the Philippines and Thailand because I travel and I watch a lot of travel channels. And you have white guys who have travel channels. Yeah, they're in the Thailand or the Philippines or something like that, or Vietnam, and they're going to Colombia too, and they're going to you say Puerto Rico is like American island, and then like Brazil, whatever. So in Latin America, we could say, or Mexico. Mexico is a big, tourist kind of hub. I've been to Mexico before. I don't. It's not on my list to travel anytime soon. I want to go to Belize in Central America. That's on my list. I was just in Costa Rica, Panama City, and then I went to Colombia as well. And I'd go back to all those places for sure, especially Costa Rica for the nature. Panama, a lot of mulattoes, good vibe. Colombia had a lot of mulattoes as well, good vibe, good nightlife. But what I'm saying is that yeah, it's easy to kind of throw Bantus under the bus for taking planes to go to these other countries and stuff. But the same countries you're going to, they already have established tourist markets there where whites are going there too, and even Asians and other people too. But maybe not to the same degree. You can argue that because, like I said, a lot of Bantus, their attention starved, so they'll, they create these, YouTube channels and talk about all their kind of festivities and stuff, and they kind of blow up the spot essentially, because they brag, how they're balling in this country when the shit's like half the price you pay in America. Yeah, of course you're going to be balling. You get a better deal, you get a better deal in a lot of these countries, depending on the country. Costa Rica, I'd say not so much. It was not a cheap country to travel to, but it's a beautiful country. And the nature, it's worth it if you like nature. So I just want to, let that be known where it's say you don't trust light skinned black women. Yeah, to me, if you're black identified, I'm just not even interested in dealing. Like, even if they're biracial, if they're light skinned, if they're female or male, regardless, like if they, and you have like Latinos who are kind of black identified, they got like a drop of black, or if their baby daddy's black, whatever, and they're black identified. Just, I don't deal with people who are black identified because their whole goal is to try to force me off my square and to sympathize with them and to be a subordinate, because I got privilege, right? Light skin privilege. I'm trying to figure out where the hell this privilege is at. They want to maneuver me to be a subordinate underneath other people, and I'm just not down with that. So that's why, like, to me, the male or female or biracial or light skin, all this stuff, to me, it's just mentally, where are you at? Mentally, where, like, do you, yeah, if you identify with these people, and that, if you identify with them, that's your family or people, that's cool, but just don't expect me to like bow down and serve. That's my main thing. It's not the identity components, one thing, whatever, but it's the fact where they look at me where it's like, well, if I don't identify with them, then I'm a problem, or I'm anti-black, or I hate my African heritage, or something like that. When they try to frame it like that, it's like, I don't even want to deal with them. So it's not even mainly if they identify as black. I want to rephrase that. It's if they expect me to identify as black and be a subordinate, then it's like I just can't deal with people like that. Because there's biracials who act like that, male and female, and light skinned, so that are used to getting all the attention and being light. That's until mulatto comes around. Yeah, it's because they have their standard or their position in that community is higher than any other community. So it's very tempting for them to just kind of be fixed into that group, you know, because their status is so much higher there than if they went with like Latinos, or if they went with the white community or Asian community, their status would not be as high. They'd kind of be like the black person of the group, even though they're mixed, right? Even though they're multiracial or whatever, mulatto. Let's be real. If they're surrounded by Anglos or whites or pale people, they're going to be considered the kind of black person, whatever, brown person. And same thing with Latinos. And then, but although they could kind of fit in more better with Latinos because there's a lot of mulattoes in that group, mestizos mixed, we get it, right? But what I'm saying is that their status is going to be higher amongst black people, especially because the black males will protect them from black females. Because black females will be jealous of the mulatto female or the light skinned female, right? Because black males prefer the light skin and the mulatto. So they'll get pedestalized by black males. So their position is going to be higher in that group. That's why it's kind of an easy access doorway. A lot of them just walk in there and just get the deal. I just feel bad and sorry for them, kind of, little pity when they become baby mamas. Like if they are married to these guys and they have a family, hey man, nothing but love for them. I support them, no issue. There's a lot of women who are mixed and they follow me on my socials and they have black husbands, and they got black kids, they're married to black guys, but it's mutual. Like I like them, I like their content, they support me. It's very mutual. We're like mutual followers, whatever, on social media. So it's nothing about them, no hate to them. If they're married women, they're respectable women. It's just I kind of pity the ones who are like baby mamas. Like they wanted to prove their blackness so bad. They allowed themselves to get played by a black guy. And it's even more of an L when these individuals, these ladies, they've jumped on the internet talking shit about biracial men or light skinned men. And then you're a baby mama as well. I'm like, that is just a double L. Like, don't expect me to feel no sympathy. So most of my kind of commentary is directed at them. It's not the mixed or light skinned women who are married to black men. If you're a married woman, nothing but love and respect. I love you guys. Like my goal is eventually to get married, right? So I respect people who are in marriages. Like that's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about this baby mama culture that it basically promotes kind of this cycle of failure. I just don't want to be associated with that, especially if they're anti light skinned biracial man and they want to prove their blackness to another group of men who end up playing their ass and now they're baby mamas. It's like, man, get the hell out of here. Where did they come from talking this crap? Yeah. What am I at? An hour and 26 minutes. So yeah, Mike Jones hit you got LeBron. You gotta change that avatar, homie. Are you a dark skinned Bantu? I don't know why you got that avatar. Because this LeBron guy is teaming up with Bantus against mulatto men. So I don't know, bro. If you like basketball, you like LeBron, but I'd switch up that avatar, bro. Because that dude is like straight up turned on a light skinned mulatto man for racist Bantus. So that's it's an L right there, homie, with that avatar. But I agree with your comment. They hate mulatto men, but they like mulatto women. That's the whole thing with Kendrick Lamar, his audience. That's the whole thing with the other dude, Tyler the Creator. That's it. Black women have a big influence on females of other races. Black women love to talk crap about mulattoes just to get black male validation. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, white women who listen to black women are pretty much, how do I want to phrase this? As far as like social advice on raising biracial children, if you're a white woman, you have a biracial child, listen to biracial people. Don't listen to black people, okay? Straight up. Okay. But if you're a white woman, you want to listen to a black person, or giving you professional advice or healthcare advice, whatever, for sure. It's, you guys are professionals. I'm not making a anti-black or racist comment in that regard. You're all professionals. You're giving each other advice, even social issues, whatnot. I'm saying, if you're a white woman, you got a biracial child, do not take advice on how to raise your biracial child from a black person. Okay. You need to consult with other biracial people and ask them for advice. That's why we're here. And there's more people qualified than me. Trust me. You got ladies, mulattas, who are writing children books. There's one mulatta that I'm talking to. She's actually working on a project like that. So go talk with them. And they have kids. They have a family. So I don't have any kids. So I'm probably not the authority on that, but I'm just saying that we already have a market for that here. We already have a space, a community of mulattoes networking. So if you're a white lady and you have, or if you're a black lady and you have a mixed kid, you need to talk to some mixed people. Okay. Because yeah, a white woman who talks to a black woman about advice on their mixed child, it's that's an L. I would not advise that at all. So yeah, let me kind of skim through these comments. And in Mulata, it's a nice username. You put hi, hello, fellow yellows. That's how he had to get attention from the white man. Yeah, you put, we don't live in black and white worlds. That's what they don't get. Yeah. Nah, you're good. Yep. Um, you put, when the Bantu is outnumbered, they won't call mulattoes. For example, they won't call Dominicans black in a room full of Dominicans. Interesting. The only people on this planet that brings up race colors black people, and only them, and never will be others to do that. Yeah, the color thing is the big one. They always pull up, right? When the Bantu is outnumbered, they won't call mulattoes black. I think I just read that comment. You put the comment twice. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, and they'll try to outnumber you in your space. They'll bombard your comment section on TikTok or whatever. They'll jump in there, put all their dumb comments. They'll try to like basically drown your voice out, because they're highly active on TikTok. So they'll try to drown your voice out and get their comments all over the place. Good thing I got some mulatto soldiers and Dominican soldiers who got my back and shit. But that's the thing. They're used to that, trying to drown your voice out on social media. So that's why you guys got to definitely check them and challenge them. They'll try to outnumber you in your own space, on your own, like, channel. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't learned to ignore dark skinned blacks, and you haven't learned anything interesting. Didn't anyone see that girl on TikTok, Donna Briggs? She's a black woman, an exotical type that transformed into a white woman. I don't know who that is. That's interesting though. Yeah, the Haitians love siding with Black Americans, especially if it's to tell mulattoes in the United States and DR Haiti, yeah, you are black. Yeah, and it's vice versa too. That's the thing. That's why I'm such an ally and support Dominicans, because I see it's vice versa. You have the Black Americans who will virtue signal and side with Haitians to attack Dominican people, and I'm seeing that because they're pushing a Afrocentric black supremacist agenda, and they're trying to attack mixed people, mulattoes, and also Latinos, right? And they're trying to gain political power. And then Mike Jones says light skinned people go through way more racism than blacks, or you put dark skinned blacks. You put the baby has a Dominican mulatto baby mama, but the baby hates her brother. Yeah, he's a typical, dark skinned Bantu. Racist ones. I'm not saying, normal people, but calling a spade a spade. They don't like it when you call it out. We see the behavior of Kendrick Lamar, the baby, these rappers, and all the idiots on Twitter who co-sign them. Yeah, these are the racists, you know. They don't like mulatto men, but they got like mulatto baby mamas and shit. Good riddance. At least those dudes have money. Shit, they can afford to live somewhere, you know, away from the rest of us or whatever. But I have the most when you embrace your white side. They say you're trying to be white. Yeah, you're trying to be white. You embrace your white side. Yeah, they can never be you. That's why they're hating, right? All you're doing is showing respect to your white family and past ancestors. Yeah, exactly. Yep, showing respect to my white family, and they're offended by that. They're gonna stay offended too, especially these newer, younger mulattoes. They're really gonna stay offended. They see more of these mulattoes getting some confidence out here. A light skinned black woman told me personally that she didn't like that mulattoes are considered black because it takes off tension. And that's what it is. I noticed this even years ago, back in like 2019, when I went on my trip to Ghana. There was a light skinned dude there, and he was kind of like the dark skinned guys. There was a couple dark skinned guys. I was in Ghana. Everybody's black and dark skinned, right? But on my trip, the other students with me it was like a study abroad, and like I didn't feel that energy from the black people there, the men or women, but there was one lighter skinned dude. I'm thinking he was kind of mixed or something, like half Mexican and half black, maybe Blaxican, or I don't know, maybe one of his parents was kind of mixed, and but his one of his other parents was black. But I felt like he was mad that I was there because I was the only mulatto man there. There were two mulatto women there, but one of them was like super black identified. The other one, she had a black mom and a white father, but she was more so, she was neutral. She was biracial identified. I liked her. But yeah, the one who was like black identified, it was like, yeah, they have to out ghetto it and stuff. She wasn't ugly, she's pretty, but just she identified as black, and it's just, you know. But I was even then when I was still kind of in that kind of frame of thinking. And what I'm saying is that the dude who I was lighter skinned black guy, he could be mixed, but to me he was like lighter skin, whatever. And I felt like I came to that conclusion that this dude is mad I'm there because he doesn't have no status anymore to be like the light skinned guy in the room. Now that the biracial guy walked in the room, you know, now I'm like, I'm more whiter than all of them, right? There's a prestige and status that comes with that. Let's be real. And I felt that energy from this guy. He didn't even have to communicate, verbal communicating, just based off his actions, his nonverbal communicating basically gave it away. Like I was like, why the hell is this guy bothered by me? Like he was kind of cool at some moments, but he showed some hostility at moments that made me suspect like this guy's just bothered with my presence. Something just weird kind of ego bullshit energy. There's some energy that some guys will have with each other where it gives off that kind of weird vibe. And I felt that from this dude. He's a lighter skinned dude. And like I said, my roommate on the trip is a black dude, and he was a cool cat, man. I liked him. And other black guys that were there, a couple other ones, they were cool. They were all dark skin. So it was nothing weird on the trip, but it was just that one guy who was kind of mixed, or he's a lighter skinned guy. Like just there's some weird energy. And I knew that's exactly what it was. It's the primitive mindset. He felt like I was kind of taking his position of being the light skinned guy. Cause here I jump in there. I'm half white, like I'm whiter and lighter skinned than all of you. So now I'm the guy that's kind of going to get the attention, the spotlights on me, so to speak. Yeah. So that's a real thing, man. It's a very real thing with the men and the women. I've experienced that. I have firsthand knowledge in that. I can go more into that in the future, whatever, but I appreciate your comment because, yeah, I've experienced that for sure. She admits something experienced my whole life. Yeah. And you're basically validating. Yeah. And I expressed that as well. I've experienced something similar like that. Yeah, and she admitted it. See, the guy I'm talking about where I was at, he never verbally admitted anything. It's just but through his nonverbal communication, his actions, I was like, yeah, something's weird. I think this guy's mad because I'm lighter skinned than him and more mixed than him. And so I'm gonna get more attention than he is. It was some weird ego bullshit. And that's why there's some light skinned guys who try to pull that shit on mixed people. Like they want more of the spotlight in the black community. That's why with this whole black identity thing, like I'm very firm, like I'm mulatto, I'm biracial, I'm not light skinned black. Because what happens is when you open up the door, you're gonna have that's what the whole golden sphere was. That's why it was a failed experiment. You had a bunch of ghetto ass hood boogers who like they're that's what it was, man. And they're basically jockeying for position, trying to tell black people that they were fighting for a better position in the black community. When you have guys like me or mulatto and other biracials or people listening, we're like, we're trying to get the hell away from these people and create our own shit, establish our own tribe. But you had some of these cats, this golden sphere stuff, where it's like they just wanted a better position in the community. That so it's our destinies weren't aligned. Okay. The biracials, guy like me, we're going a different way. Just what it is. I believe black identified mulattoes only say half the things they say, like, I wish I had 4C hair. I wish I was full black and darker just to make black people feel better. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's it. I've said something like that before, you know. Yeah, and just to make them feel better. you know, Pitiful and sad, but it's a reality. I don't have a problem with black people not preferring light skinned men. It becomes a problem when you attack mulattoes' manhood based on skin tone. Yeah, you got to check them for that, right? I just tell them, why are they the first ones to move into the white community if they believe white people are anti black? I know they can never answer that, right? Very good question. White people are so racist and you anti black and you racist, but they're the first ones. They're watching your social media because they'll say that about me, that I'm anti black or something. But it's like, but why are you groupies watching me? Well, I just want to watch what you're doing so I can expose you. You're not exposing anything. You're building my audience. More and more people are going to know about me and be curious. I'm just watching you. I just want to see what you're going to say, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, they complain about white people, but they're going to move into their communities. It's just the hypocrisy is disgusting. And we got one more comment. I'm going to end this now. You put whites know this as well. A white person told me I would be at the very top in a black community. Yeah, they know it for sure. And mulattoes are at the top. But the thing is, it's like, are you guys all happy there? I mean, clearly not. I was never from the black community. I was never a part of their community, just an outside observer. I guess I was a part of their community if I was with family, but that was more of like a family function type of thing. But, you know, we're in a position now to establish a growing mulatto community. It's on us to foster it, provide more voices, have a real representation, visibility, advocacy. I'm not special. I'm one voice. My goal is to amplify our voices. That's all. Appreciate you guys being here and supporting the stream. I appreciate all you guys watching, even the hate watchers. Love you guys for helping me in the algorithm. Guys, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and follow me over on X. And I'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Peace out.